everyone, it's Christina of CraftyPaws. I'm here to share a little Easter/spring card with you guys. This was a little scene that I stamped out using a lot of masking. And after I Copic colored the whole thing, after stamping it all out, I tried to do a little watercoloring in the background. And because it was on Copic friendly paper, not watercoloring paper, it was coming out really streaky. So I started to get upset and I thought, oh no, I've ruined the whole card. The whole image is ruined. I'm just going to have to throw it out and start over. But before I did, I decided, let me try and just do some squiggly lines on the background. And I really like how this looks. I was so surprised. Let me walk you through how I created the card. First of all, I used this really cute Tiddly Ink stamp set called Somebody Loves You. And this is a retired set, but if you're interested in these images, she has this in her digital shop, so it's available digitally. And basically what I did was I stamped out this little girl with her two little bunnies, and then I created a mask. You can see that I saved the masks so I could reuse that later. And basically I cut around that, put the mask on top, and then I stamped out the additional little bunny here, 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 and here, so that she would have, what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bunnies around her, not just the 2. And then a little bit further over, I decided I wanted another little couple of bunnies. So I stamped out this little bunny right here, created a little mask for that, and then stamped out this little bunny with a cocked ear behind, kind of peeking out. And I thought I like doing things in 3s, so I stamped out this little bunny up here as well and have him kind of popping into the scene. And I just sketched in really quick some little grass lines and colored all of this up with my Copic markers. And if you're interested in the particular Copic markers that I use, I will have them linked in my blog post, which I will link to in the description box below. Then, as I said, I used some Tim Holtz Distressed ink in shaded lilac because I wanted to kind of bring in a kind of lilac color with these kind of brighter, raspberry and blue pants that she has on. And I thought that would bring in a nice kind of spring look. And so I watercolored that on. I used that Distress ink and then my water brush, and I watercolored it out. And it was okay in this area here where it was kind of smaller, but because the water wasn't absorbed at the same rate around the rest of the paper, because this isn't made for absorbing that much water, this Georgia Pacific paper that I use, it got really streaky. And so I decided the only way I could possibly salvage this, I think, is if I went over with Copic markers. So I found a couple of Copic markers. I think I used V20 and BV31, which was very close to this shaded lilac. And I kind of just did a really light squiggly line all around. And I connected this little top area to this bottom area. And it kind of reminds me of I don't know, springtime, like fireflies or little bugs flying in the air. Or sometimes if you look at in the heat of the day, if you look at the sky, you kind of get kind of a warbly look. But anyway, I really like how that texture came out. I think it adds a lot of interest. And so I did the same thing with the grass area. I colored that in originally with a couple of different, I think a yellow green and a green color. And then I did the same kind of squiggly line technique for the foreground for this grass as well. And I really like how that looked. Then another boo-boo, I had a little mark that somehow ended up right here underneath where I have the sentiment. And so that's what I did. I covered it up with the sentiment. I heat embossed the sentiment using Versamark ink and white extra fine embossing powder. This is a Ranger extra super fine detail embossing powder. And it came out pretty cleanly, but there were some little spaces here and there. So I filled in those, sketchy areas with this Uniball Signo pen, which I just love. I used it also for the highlighting on all the noses of the bunnies, and I added the little highlight in her eyes. I also doodled in a little nose because this little girl obviously comes with no nose. So I used a Copic multi-liner to just sketch in a little tiny nose. For the inside, just to add a little interest, I stamped out the other sentiment that says "Somebody Loves You." And I stamped out another little bunny here. That's this one. And then this one with a cocked ear. I masked off this part of the sentiment because I wanted just the little head of the bunny right there. And that's it. I had so much fun just coloring and stamping and doing a little masking for a little design. And I'm so glad I got to salvage this card rather than scrapping it and starting over. I really like how this came out. Sometimes mistakes are the best things that can happen in, pushing your creativity. Anyway, I hope you guys are having a wonderful crafty day. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.